Hello and welcome to Yoga Restore Flo. My name's Rachel and we have about 45 minutes to flow through a calming and focused workout to help open up the joints and restore muscle function. You will get some strength built in, some flexibility built in, and of course mobility of the joints. You'll recognize a lot of regular and standard yoga poses, but you might also recognize that there are new and unique stretches included. With that said, let's talk over what you're going to need for class. I'm using a yoga mat just so that I won't slip on the floor, but technically you don't need one. Just make sure that your hands and feet won't slip. And then I do have some yoga blocks, and they're not at all necessary, but it is nice to have them if you're not as flexible, and it would feel better for some of our poses today. So I might show some poses with the blocks as a for instance. Let's get started. Let's bring the feet underneath the shoulders and roll them up, down, and back. Lift the shoulders up, roll them down and back. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. That nose breathing helps to just slow us down a little bit. Helps us to focus on the present moment right now. Inhale, shoulders up, down, and back. One more time. Now let's circle sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhaling, hands down through heart center. A few more like this. Inhale, stretching up. Keeping the thighs, glutes, and abs strong. One more time. Big breath in. Exhale, hands down through heart center. This time, let's stretch up into our extended mountain and then sink down into a gentle chair. Driving back through heels. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, sink and drive back through heels. Continue with this flow. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, melting back. At your pace. There's no particular need to move fast or slow, just whatever works for you. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, melting back. One more time. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, melting back. This time, extended mountain, reaching up, and dive out to forward fold. Soften or bend at the knees just a little bit. Reach down, relax the neck and shoulders. Maybe shake the head no, shake the head yes. Bend the knees any amount, and then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. And back to extended mountain, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, sink to gentle chair. Inhale, arms up to extended mountain. Exhale, dive out to our forward fold. Soften in the knees. Relax the neck and shoulders. Shake the head no, shake the head yes. And slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Inhaling the arms high to sky. Exhale, sink to chair. Last time. Inhale, stretching up to extended mountain. Exhale, diving out to fold. And slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms high to sky. Holding here, squeeze the glutes, lateral flexion. Grab hold of the left wrist and then up and over to the right. Really tucking the tailbone under. Inhale, center. Exhale, other direction. Grabbing hold of the right wrist and side flex. Keeping tailbone tucked under, breathing in and breathing out. Back to center. One more time each side. Holding on to left wrist. Tucking tailbone and then over to the right. Thinking about being in between two imaginary panes of glass so that we stay sideways versus rotating. Inhale, center, other side. Grab hold of right wrist, up and over to the left. Side flex, keep glutes tight. And back to center. Bringing the arms around behind the back, thumbs to sacrum. Chest expansion. Again, glutes tight, belly in. Really open through heart center here. We can turn the head a little to the right. And turn the head to the left. Let's go again. Turning head to the right, make sure you're breathing. And turning head to the left. Keep the abs in. And head back center. Relax the arms down. Let's widen out the feet so that the toes are definitely wider than shoulder width apart for moonflowers. Reach the arms up, stretch open through the fingertips, and exhale, sink down, inhaling, reaching up. And in our moonflowers, the goal here is to really focus on mobilizing all of the major joints in the body here. So that's our ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, sinking down and reaching up. We're keeping the spine strong. Strong spinal muscles, strong abdominal muscles, and focusing on drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine a little bit behind us while keeping the belly pulled in. Inhale up, exhale down. At your pace, you could go slower, you could go a little faster. Let's take 2 more. In general, we inhale as we reach upward, we exhale as we sink downward. One more time, inhale up, exhale down. And sunflowers, hinge at the hips, circle sweep the arms towards the floor, keep the spine fairly straight, and then reach back up to the sky. From the side, it looks like this, a hinge down. You can see how the spine is pretty straight. Really, the fold and the work is happening in the hips primarily, secondarily in the knees. Inhale, reach up, exhale, diving down. Inhale, reaching up. Let's do 2 more. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and inhale, lift, and then sun pose. Sink down into hips, nestle into the hips, palms open to the sides, and the figure 8 with the arms. Roll through the shoulders, release them a little bit, breathing in and breathing out. And then hands to thighs, sink down into hips, big hip stretch, gentle spinal rotation, drop the right shoulder, look up past the left, sink into hips, inhale center, exhale other direction, sinking down, gently dropping the left shoulder, lifting up through right, really focusing on the hip and inner thigh stretch. Inhale center, exhale rotate, inhale center, exhale rotate. And wide-legged forward fold, fingertips reach to the floor, heels push wide, feet parallel, relax the head and shoulders down towards the ground. Here's where you could use your blocks if that felt better for you. We're thinking again about the toes pointed forward and weight spread between the center and through the center of each foot versus leaning way back into the heels or into the toes. Right through center. Relaxing through neck and shoulders. Maybe wiggle out a little bit. Shake it out. Now let's work the hands over to the left side. Drawing belly to thigh. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. And let's walk the hands over to the right side. Drawing belly closer to thigh. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Taking that deep breath, always with our movements. And let's work our hands back to center and pull the heels in, squat down, hands to thighs, and just sink into hips here a little bit. Just sink into hips. Take a breath in, take a breath out. And let's circle sweep the arms up. Inhale, exhale, sink down into a wide kneed horse stance. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, sink down. One more time. Stretching up, sinking down, and let's come all the way down to the ground. First, fingertips down, and then drop down onto the knees. Let's bring the hands forward on the mat and move into a kneeling or full plank form. Squeezing on glutes. Let's do a half push-up, lower down halfway, and then press back into a child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhaling forward again into our kneeling or full plank. Exhale, push up, and press back into our child's pose or downward facing dog. 2 more like this. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink back. One more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, sink. Inhale up and exhale, press back. And then come to all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips for spinal balance. Extend the left leg, keep the abdominals engaged, reach through right arm. Hold and breathe. Steadying through spine. And you could turn the palm in, thumb up if that feels better on the shoulder, and release down. Other side, right leg extends out, left arm forward. Taking the breath in, breath out. Try to keep the belly pulled in and release down. And now we'll flow with our breath. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, release down. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, down. 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Reach and lower. Last 2. Lengthen and lower. One more time. Reach and down. Cat-cow. Hands stay under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck tailbone under. Round through spine. Relax through shoulders. And then reverse into cow pose. Inhale. Look forward. Tailbone lifts up. Shoulders drop down the spine. And exhale. Tuck under into cat back. Inhale. Move into cow pose. 2 more like this. Exhale, tucking under. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to tuck. Inhale to lengthen. And then we'll just come to our neutral spine for a moment. Turn the toes under. And let's walk the feet to the hands and the hands to the feet, finding ourselves in a forward fold. Slowly rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Inhaling the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to extended mountain. And let's step forward all the way on our mats for our sun salutations. And I'll show a modified version, but cue you for the full. Exhale, dive out to forward fold. Right leg reaching back into a kneeling or a full lunge. I like to pause in our lunges so we get just a little bit more time to unwind the hips. Child's pose or downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale forward into a kneeling or full plank. Exhale, lower the body down and then lift into cobra. Elbows squeeze ribs, glutes strong, belly strong. And then exhale to child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lunging forward into our kneeling or full lunge. And step forward into fold. Exhale. Slowly rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Inhaling, arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to our extended mountain. Exhale, diving out to forward fold. Left leg reaching back into a kneeling or a full lunge. Taking that pause, stretching into hips. And child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhaling forward into a kneeling or full plank. Exhale, lower the body down. Inhale, lift into cobra or an upward facing dog. Squeeze glutes, abs, elbows to ribs. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Left leg lunging forward into our kneeling or full lunge, lengthening through heart center. And forward fold. Exhale. Slowly rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Take your time. Inhaling the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to extended mountain. We'll go through again. Exhale, diving out to forward fold. Right leg reaching back into a kneeling or a full lunge. Taking a pause. And downward facing dog or child's pose. Really opening through shoulders, relaxing into ankles, lifting up and back through tailbone in our down dog. Inhale forward into a full or kneeling plank. Abs and glutes strong. Exhale, lower all the way down for cobra, or halfway down, flip the feet, push the elbows straight, squeeze glutes and abs, lift up through heart center for up dog. And downward facing dog or child's pose. Exhale. Right leg lunging forward. Lengthen through heart center, melt into hips. And forward fold, step forward. Slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to our extended mountain. Exhale, diving out to fold. Left leg reaching back into a kneeling or full lunge, lengthening through heart center. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose, opening through shoulders, hamstrings, relaxing into ankles. Inhale forward into a full or kneeling plank. Exhale all the way down for cobra, or halfway down, flip the feet into upward facing dog. Lift up through heart center, squeeze glutes and abs, open through chest. Exhale to downward facing dog or child's pose. Pause here. Left leg reaching through into lunge, a kneeling or a full lunge. Lengthening through heart center, melting into hips. And forward fold. Jump the back leg in. Slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. And let's hold our chair, come to the center of our mats, and sink down into hips here. Hands to prayer position. We could stay here, or we could take a rotated chair. Right hand to sacrum, left hand to thigh, sink into hips, lengthen up through spine and rotate. Here's one option. Other option is more traditional, hands to prayer, sink deeper, elbow comes to the outside of the thigh, and lengthen and rotate. That first option is great for taking care of the low back or shoulders. All right, let's hold for another breath. And forward fold, release down. Listen up, keep your heels flat, bend one knee at a time. So you have to drag your hip down as you bend the knee, or your heel's gonna lift up. This is a great IT band of low back stretch. We're alternating knee bends, left and right. Again, left and right. And then bend both knees, chair, hands to heart center, sink down into hips. We'll take our rotated chair options. Left hand to sacrum, right hand to thigh. And let's gently rotate. In this posture, you want to be lifting up through heart center. We don't want to be compressing down, and that's going to stimulate our transverse abdominis a little bit more. Other option, more traditional, hands to heart center, sink deeper, elbow to the outside of the thigh, and rotate. This is more intensive on the shoulders and on the spine, which is why option A is good if we're taking care of our low back or shoulders. And release to forward fold again. Keeping heels flat, neck relaxed, bend one knee at a time, alternating knee bends. Bend right, bend left. Kind of like you're dropping one hip at a time. Think of it as one hip drop, and the knee has to bend to help your hip lower down. 3, 2, 1, and good. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Again, reaching up, extended mountain, and then hands to heart center. We'll pause for just a moment, eyes closed, to take a breath, kind of catch ourselves here, feeling present and mindful and grateful and accepting of what we're able to do today in this moment. Breath in and breath out. And mountain pose, arms to the sides, palms open, shoulders roll down and back, abs strong, quads strong, lifting up on kneecaps with strength through your thigh muscles. This is mountain pose. Let's take just a moment, another breath. and breath out. And moving into our warrior series, let's step forward on our mats. Warrior one. We'll take the left leg and reach back, drop the heel down. There's a gentle opening of the hips, but for the most part, they stay forward facing. Imagine you're framing up the front left corner of your mat. Inhale the arms up, high to sky. Option to bend the elbows if that feels better on the neck or shoulders. Holding and breathing here. Squeeze the rear glutes, drive down through the rear heel. Push both feet evenly into the mat. Breath in and breath out. And then interlacing the fingers behind the back, thumbs to sacrum, open through chest expansion. Option to stay here or move into a humble warrior. You can keep the thumbs to sacrum or extend the arms out. Hinge at the hips, driving the shoulder towards the front knee, relaxing the neck, looking back at the rear leg, keeping the front knee bent. Keep sinking into hips, opening through chest, squeezing shoulder blades towards spine a little bit. So keeping the chest open, stretching the front of the shoulders. And then unwind, warrior one. Reach the arms up, inhale. And exhale, pause here in warrior one. Warrior two. We'll lengthen our stance. The back leg can reach back even further, and now the toes point to the long edge of the mat. Sink deeper into hips, stretch arms long. Here, we have our hip tips drawn in, glutes tucked under a little bit, so there's not too much arch in the low back. And then we reach the fingertips again, out to the sides. Keeping both feet evenly planted into the ground here. Nice and strong. We're gonna need some strength, flexibility, and balance in this pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Side angle, forearm to the front thigh. Left arm floats up to the sky, sink into hips. Stretching across the top of the left hip. Option with the arms, we could bring the arm even closer to the ear, or we could take the knuckles and wrap them around the waistband, relaxing through the shoulder and opening through chest. It's a great option if we're taking care of our neck or shoulders. Let's hold for one more breath. And return to warrior two. Straighten the front knee for a moment. Let that leg rest. Strong through the thigh. And rebend into our warrior two. Taking a reverse warrior, stretch forward just a little bit and then hinge back. The back hand can gently rest on the back thigh. We don't want to be pushing on that leg too much. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Sink down into hips. Engage through abdominals. Breath in and breath out. And let's cartwheel down into our lunge. Pop the back heel. Pause in the lunge for a moment. Holding here and breathing. And downward facing dog or child's pose. Exhale. Inhale forward into a full or kneeling plank. Exhale, lower the body down and lift into cobra. Thighs strong. Heart center draws up and forward. Glutes, abs. Elbows squeeze to ribs. And press back into a child's pose. Down dog is your option. Exhale. Keep breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. And let's walk the feet to hands, forward fold. Slowly rolling up, one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the arms high to sky, extended mountain. Exhale, sink to chair. Inhale to extended mountain. Exhale, open for moonflowers. Widen out the feet. Exhale down and inhale, stretch up. Exhaling down, inhaling up. One more time, exhale down, inhale up, and then turning to the other side of the mat and step forward. Arms up, extended mountain, and then hands down through heart center. Warrior one, other side. Right leg is gonna reach back. Drop down into the heel. Hip tips generally point to the front edge of the mat with a bias to the right, framing up the right front corner of the mat, squeezing on the glutes, driving into the back heel. floating the arms up, breathing in and breathing out. Relaxing down into shoulders, engaging through abdominals. And from here, just expansion. Interlace the fingers behind the back, thumbs to sacrum. Start to open through heart center, open through chest. Let's just take a breath here. And out. Extending through the elbows. Option move into our humble warrior. Hinging at the hips. Shoulder moves to the front knee. Knuckles reach up to the sky. Really thinking about picking the shoulders off the chest. So really strengthening the upper back here. Engaging through abdominals. Keeping the chest open. Breathing in and breathing out. And unwind slowly. Bring it up. Arms float up to the sky. Warrior one. Return to warrior one. And pause. Warrior two. Stepping open further with the right foot. The toes now point to the long edge of the mat. Left toes to the front. Extend the arms long. Tuck tailbone under a little bit. Engaging through abdominals. Drawing belly in. Stretching through the arms and sinking into hips. Working on our strength, balance, and flexibility. Hold and breathe. Keeping the shoulders down out of the ears. And side angle. Forearm can rest on the front thigh. Right arm floats up to the sky. The arm can come all the way close to the ear, or we can take the knuckles around to the waistband and open through the shoulder and chest. Sinking into hips. Taking breath in. Taking breath out. And returning to warrior two, straightening the front knee for a rest. Squeeze glutes. Shoulders out of the ears. Returning to warrior two. And reverse warrior, stretch forward just a hair. And then hinge back, kind of pinwheel back. The back hand can gently rest on the back thigh. Left arm floats up to the sky. Sinking into hips. Engaging through lower abs and pelvic floor. Breathing in. And breathing out. And let's cartwheel down into our lunge. Pop the back heel. Pause here for a moment. Stretching into hips. Breath in and breath out. And downward facing dog or child's pose. Press the hips up and back, reaching through tailbone, opening through shoulders if we're in down dog. Inhale forward into a full or kneeling plank. Exhale, let's lower the body all the way down and stay here for a pec stretch. And I'm going to turn my body on the mat so that you can see what I'm up to here. Because we're going to do a myofascial pec stretch, not something you're going to find in your traditional yoga class. Left arm way out to the side here. Right hand underneath the shoulder. We'll bend both knees, squeeze the glutes. And you're going to roll onto the left side shoulder and left side hip. The ear hovers just off the mat. Shoulder blades squeeze to spine. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Again, glutes are strong. Feet are clamshelled. Now I'm going to, well, I think, yep, you can see. My feet are touching each other. So my feet are together, but my top knee is lifting up. And that's helping to facilitate the stretch, to keep me rotating open so we can get this pec major stretch on the left side of the body is really what we're going for here. Again, the ear hovers just off the mat, so you can almost feel it underneath your ear. We'll take the breath in and breath out. And return. Come all the way onto the belly. And let's unwind and do it on the other side. So reach the right arm way out to the side here. Left hand underneath the shoulder. We'll bend both knees, squeeze the glutes, roll onto the right side shoulder. And one thing I'm doing here is I'm wiggling my right arm even further away because sometimes it's still too close and we can get hung up on the shoulder and then the floor is just too far away for the ear, and we feel like we're reaching to the floor. So we really want to open the chest and get that shoulder reaching further than we think we need to reach it. And our feet are clamshell, feet touch each other, the top knee lifts up a little bit. Keep the glutes strong, lengthening through the crown of the head and through the knees. Shoulder blades, with strength, move them towards the spine. You've got all these things to think about. And then finally, the arm you're stretching, that right arm, you can lift the fingertips up off the ground, and that just adds that final essence to the stretch. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And return to the belly. Hands under the shoulders, press back into a child's pose or downward facing dog. I'm gonna get back on the mat here. Sink the hips into the heels if you're in child's pose. Child's pose is always nice after that. Just really helps to release the spine. And then forward onto the belly for a prone quad stretch. Right arm out in front for some stability. Left hand's gonna reach back, grab hold of the ankle. Squeeze the glutes and drive the front crease of the hip down into the mat. We'll hold and breathe. And working on keeping the air flowing in and out through the nose. And release. Other side, left arm out front for some stability. Reach back with the right hand, grab hold of the foot, squeeze the glutes. Now, if you find that your hamstring is cramping up as you're trying to do this, roll to the side and grab hold of your foot. That's another great way of achieving the same purpose. All right, we're squeezing the glutes. We're driving the hip crease down, holding here, and release. We'll move into bow pose, or you can repeat this left and right quad stretch. That's your option. We'll do 2 sets of bow so that those taking the quad stretch can get both sides in. Okay, for bow pose, reach back, grab hold of both feet. Otherwise, if you're taking the option, just grab hold of your left foot for another quad stretch. Start to push the feet into the hands, starting to lift the chest. So heart center starts to lift up. We breathe in and breathe out. And as you inhale, you almost feel the body rock as you're bringing the air in. Keep pushing the feet into the hands, lifting up through the chest and release. And if you were taking the single leg stretch option, release. Second set bow, or go to right side quad stretch. Reach back, grab hold of the foot or feet, push the feet into the hands. Think about lifting the chest through the strength of the legs. We're stretching through biceps, stretching through anterior shoulder. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Oh, and release. Sink back into a child's pose. Exhale. This is going to feel really good after that. All right, forward onto the belly again. For locust pose, sometimes I like to call it skydiver. All right, this is all about strengthening the back of the body. So let's have the feet a comfortable distance apart, maybe between hip and shoulder width apart. And palms out to the sides. So let's do palms down, thumbs pointing up. So palms down, and then lift up through the shoulders, lift up through the legs, and then lift up through heart center. So really think about bringing the hands up first, and then the body follows, so we can get some strength across the back of the shoulder. The glutes, of course, are active. We're thinking about strengthening our rear deltoids, our medial trapezius muscles, rhomboids, all these muscles across the upper back that help us with posture. We'll breathe in and breathe out. And release. Child's pose, exhale. Sink the hips back. Take an extra breath here. And we'll come up onto the knees for a lunge series. Let's take the right foot forward and sink the hips forward. So we're stretching the left side hip flexor here. Squeeze the left glutes, reach the left arm up to the sky. Really opening the front of the body here. Keep the glutes squeezed, that's so important. No matter what, keep bringing your thoughts back to squeezing glutes. And then we'll bring the hand down, press the hips back for a hamstring stretch. Now here's where the blocks really come in handy. I'm actually gonna show you that. We've got the blocks here, and this just feels so much better to not have to reach down so far to the floor, especially if you've got a tight hamstring. Point and flex the foot a few times. Maybe roll the ankle around and hang out here. Just enjoying the stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. And runner's lunge. Shift the body weight forward. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Hands to the inside of the foot. And you can work the foot over to the outside edge of the mat a little bit. And then you can come down, maybe onto the outside elbow. Again, here's where the blocks can come in handy. You can lean down onto the block with your outside elbow. And let's breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to kind of roll around here and find the stretch that you're looking for. Every shift creates a different line of stretch along the muscle. So playing around with it slowly, carefully, can really help you learn what you need. And let's bring the hands back up. Keeping the elbows straight. This time, just let the knee drop out to the side. It's hard to see from your angle, so I'm gonna come around. So let the knee drop out to the side here. You're still in a runner's lunge, but this time you're thinking, so here's the visual, like you're trying to check to see if you have any gum on the bottom of your foot, like if you just stepped in something. So you're gonna turning your ankle with your knee. So the ankle joint stays pretty straight here. And just finding a new angle on the stretch. All right, bring the knee back in and release to a child's pose or a downward facing dog. We're gonna do all of that on the other side. So I'm actually gonna turn to face the other direction so it looks the same for you over there. Okay, moving the left foot forward into lunge. Bringing the hands up onto the front thigh. Now our focus is on stretching the right front hip flexor. So lifting up through heart center, squeezing the right glutes. Let's hang out here and breathe. Right arm floats up to the sky. And thinking again about what we're doing here. We're thinking about opening this front hip flexor. When we've been under stress, I would suppose maybe some of us have experienced that in our lives. I'm being a little sarcastic, of course we have. It can translate into the hips, and so to take some time to stretch that area is wise. And we'll bring the hands down. Option to use the yoga blocks for our hamstring stretch. Shift body weight back. And this front toe, these front toes can point up to the sky here just to accentuate the stretch. We can point and flex the foot a few times. Roll the ankle around. Breathing in and breathing out. Both directions. Stretching feels so amazing. Okay, runner's lunge. Bring the body forward. You could use the blocks or not. Hands come to the inside of the foot, and we can work the foot over to the outside edge of the mat a little bit more. We can drive the chest outward and then down. The outside elbow can come to the mat as well. Let's hang out here, feeling the opening through the hips, especially that front hip. And let's just be present with that. Feeling and acknowledging what's going on. And let's come up onto the hands. And here's where we allow the knee to move out to the side a little bit. This is our gum check. And if it's better balance, you can put the hand to the outside of the foot if that helps you. You can put your hands wherever you want to. We're gonna let that knee drop out to the side and look underneath the foot. That is our gauge to make sure that the ankle's coming with us. And hold for a breath. And release to child's pose or downward facing dog. Exhale. Then if we're able, let's take a downward facing dog and pedal through the heels. Pedal through the heels. And this way we can get a nice stretch in the calves. And really our focus here is in our calves, is stretching the lower leg. So take your time, driving through one heel at a time. Figure 4 and pigeon, half pigeon, are next. And if you know pigeon, I want you to go into your right leg pigeon. Right leg flies high, drive the right knee all the way up to the knee, and melt down into your pigeon, down into the elbows. Figure 4. If you're taking care of your knees and that pigeon looks a little daunting, right ankle over the left knee, draw the legs into the chest. Here's your option. All right, I'm going to take half pigeon. So let's work into our half pigeon. Be coming down onto the forearms, reaching the rear leg back and imagining the hips pointing down at the mat. We could then stack our fists and put the forehead right down on them. It's very relaxing for the neck and shoulders. So let's do that. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Keeping the air flowing and paying attention to how the body is responding to the stretch. There might be some tension or resistance there. Just breathe into that and let go. And let's start to work out of our figure 4 or pigeon. If you are in pigeon, press back into a downward facing dog. Figure 4, just release the leg, put feet flat on the ground, knees bent, and wait. All right, figure 4 is left ankle over the right knee, draw the knees into the chest. Pigeon, left leg flies high, drive the knee all the way up to the wrist, wiggle the heel forward a little bit, and then wiggle the other leg back. So you can nestle down into your stretch. Coming down onto the forearms and spending a little time here. Breathing in and breathing out. Now you might notice that one side feels a little different than the other. Just acknowledge any differences. It's good information for you to know your body better. Then we can stack the fists and put the forehead down on them. This helps to relax the body, helps to relax the neck and shoulders. And then we can focus in on any tension or resistance we're feeling in the body and breathe into that. And letting go as we breathe. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, breathing in and breathing out. And downward facing dog or child's pose. Press back into the hips. Take a moment and then come down onto the knees. And let's kick the legs out around and in front of the body for staff pose and some strengthening. So you've got the legs out in front. Let's point the toes straight up to the sky and then kind of pull the glutes back just a little bit so that they're not in the way, and then stretch forward. Now if you can, you go ahead and grab hold of the toes with the peace fingers, those first 2 fingers, wrap them around the big toes and then cap them off with the thumb. You can bend the knees as much as you want to so that you can reach. It makes it much nicer to bend your knees so we're not working so hard to get out there. And let's hold and breathe here. Thinking about lengthening through the chest. So try to lengthen through heart center. and then melt down just a little bit. So the lengthen and melt. And releasing for incline plank. Let's bring the palms behind the hips and wider than the hips. Fingertips point out to the sides. Let's lift up through the hips, lift up through the chest. If that's a little much, go ahead and bend the knees and lift into more of a tabletop. This is a great option because the incline plank is fairly intense. Let's lift and breathe for 4, 3, 2, and release down. Sitting, let's come into boat pose. Lift both legs up. The arms can float. Option to hold onto the thighs. Option to keep the heels on the ground. Our goal is to find our abdominals and work our abs. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and butterfly. Drop the feet down, knees out to the sides. Rest forward into our butterfly. Lengthening through heart center and melting down. Releasing through back. And come on up. And let's roll down one vertebrae at a time. We're coming to the close of class. We're just going to activate the abdominals a little bit with a few crunches. So let's bring the fingertips behind the head. Engage through abdominals. Pull hip bones in just a little bit so there isn't a big arch in the low back, and then crunch up and lower down again. So standard crunches, but we're going slower. Imagine you're peeling your body up off the mat and then roll back down again. So think of it as a peel. The chin moves towards the chest just a little bit, and then we roll up, find your shake, and then roll back down. Let's just do 2 more. Just a little activation. Lift and lower, and lift, and lower, and bridging. Back strength, feet flat on the ground, knees bent, roll up, tailbone first, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, roll all the way up. And you might feel like you need to move your head higher up on the mat. That's good. You're lengthening through the spine. And then roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Try to keep that length. Roll back up again from the tailbone. Roll up. Make sure we're breathing. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, rolling down. And we'll draw the right knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Left leg goes long. Roll the right ankle around a few times. And take the right toes, hook them under the left knee, and then roll the knee over and across the body, opening with the other arm, kind of like a wing. So you see my right arm is reaching out away from me. And you can look towards that arm if you like. Palm can be open or closed. And play around with that to see what feels best for you. And return to center. Other side. Left knee, draw the knee into the chest. Right leg goes long. Pull the leg in. Roll the ankle around a few times. And toes tuck under the knee. And spinal twist. Drive the knee gently over to the side. And then the other arm. The left arm reaches out away from the body. Palm can be down or up. Whatever you would like today. Lengthening through the crown of the head, lengthening through that straight leg. So we're stretching the body open, breathing deep into the low back. And returning to center. And let's just draw both knees into the chest. And rock a little from side to side, massaging the low back. Breathing in, breathing out. And then dead bug. Reach the legs up. Grab the insides or the outsides of the feet, whatever is going to work better for you. And then hold those legs in place so that it feels as though the shin is up and down, so that the heel is over the knee. So that's where we're moving towards, the heel over the knee. And breathing in, breathing out. Just a great hip opener. This also helps to elongate the spine. So think about the tailbone being heavy, the back of the head being heavy, and the whole spine in between just
elongated along the ground. And let's release both feet down on the ground, hands gently to the sides, gentle knee sways. Knees sway to the left, knees sway to the right. And sway to the left and to the right. And knees back to center. And final relaxation, extend each leg one at a time, relaxing out. Palms a few inches away from the hips and up. Shoulder blades tucked in, glutes tucked in, all calm and comfortable. If you have a blanket, you could grab hold of that now, keeping the body warm and finding a place of peace. The purpose, one of the traditional purposes of yoga is to work the body so that the mind is able to find peace and calm. And so the exercise is actually a means to an end, to calm the mind and calm the spirit and be able to be present. Let's find some of that presence now by focusing on our breath. Breathing in, feel the belly rise. Breathing out, feeling the belly fall. Relax the shoulders. Breathing in, belly rises. Breathing out, belly falls. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Now you can stay here for as long as you wish. Take a nap, enjoy this peaceful place. Or if you're ready to move on with your day, I'll guide you out. Let's draw the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Rock a little from side to side, massage the low back. Let's roll all the way onto the right side of your body and gently press up to a seated position. Take your time. Come to a comfortable seated position, and we'll take a few deep breaths together to end our class today. Inhale, circle sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, circle sweeping the arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. And one more time, big breath in, reach up. Exhale, hands through heart center, and namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yoga Restore Flo. My name's Rachel, and I look forward to seeing you for more classes with Flow State. Take care and have a fantastic day.